Have you recently been reminded of the limits of your life and kind of wondered whether that's a good thing? Well, this book from Jen Wilkin, None Like Him, points to the fact that as we remember that God is so different from us, it's actually good and healthy for us. In fact, in this book, she talks about 10 different characteristics of how God is different from us. And we see some of these from the first moment that we're born. In fact, when the doctor takes us and measures us and weighs us, we're reminded of our limits and the fact that we actually are measurable and God's not. Of course, God is incomprehensible. He can't ever be fully known. In fact, we learn new things about ourselves, and sometimes we find kind of skeletons in the closet. There can never be a time where God learns something that he didn't know about anything, let alone himself. And any secrets that might be revealed to us about God are always in the positive. In fact, God is pre-existent. In fact, there's nothing that exists without him. So again, we're reminded that anything we create, we of course take existing things and put them together, and then that's what we produce. It's not really truly creating. What God does is actually creates out of nothing. We're reminded that God, that we often talked about the idea of humans having a God-shaped hole in our heart, and that we long for God until we find him. Well, God doesn't actually have a human-shaped hole in his heart. He's entirely self-reliant. We're reminded of God's eternalness, that there's nothing of the past, of missed opportunities that he regrets. There's nothing in the present that makes him anxious. There's nothing in the future that has anxiety for him. We're reminded, Jen reminds us that in 1 Corinthians 13, that beautiful passage, and there's so many sort of always and never moments about love, that can't actually be human love. That only God can actually say always and never statements and actually mean it. In fact, he is forever omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, and eternal. And the Psalm 139 actually kind of pulls it all together as a great ending by this clever book, worth reading. Thank you, Jen Wilkin. Cheers.